Hey guys, welcome back to DAT. In this video today we're going to be making my regular flyer. Here she is, this is what I fly regularly. It's the Apex build, HD with a caddx vista inside. And I'm going to be making basically a backup quad just in case I smash this one when I'm out flying. And we're going to be doing this from start to finish right now. Stay there guys. So I've got all the bits here. We're going to be starting with the frame, obviously the 5-inch Apex frame. I've got the motors. I'm going to be leaving the list of all the parts down below, so do check that out. These are the F40T motors. I believe these are version 2. We've got those there. Crossfire, as you know, brand new crossfire receiver. That's going to be going inside. I have a caddx vista, which is basically an old one that I'm going to reuse from a quad I don't use anymore. Save it going to waste. And what I seem to be liking these days, this is the T-motor F7. You can get a HD version of this, which is a plug and play. This is the standard F7, which I'm going to be just soldering up to the actual flight board. You can do a little bridge for battery power, and that's where we're going to be doing it. So that's a great little stack. That'll be fine. And that's about it. I've got some TPU or some 3D printed parts, obviously for the DJI action cam. And that will hold the caddx vista antenna, because I may swap that one out. I've got one there if you've seen my Apex 4 build, and I might swap that out to that one. I will also link down where I got these down below. But that's it. We're going to get on with this Apex frame, because as I remember, it's a bit of a nightmare to put together. So let's get this cracked open and I'll be right back. So there's all the parts laid out. We're going to crack on, we're going to put this frame together as quickly as we can and get into the build, guys. So obviously decide what stack you're going to use. So this is the bottom plate, because this has got the grooves. I remember doing this wrong once, and basically I'm going to do a 30-30 stack. If you want a 20-20 in it, obviously use those 20-20 stacks. Loads of nuts and bolts. Pour those all out. Just get stuck in. So these are just your mounting screws for your stack. Put those out, actually one at a time is obviously easier. There's your mounting screws for your stack, obviously so it goes flush to the bottom, and then just put these on and repeat for a fall. So there we go, we've got the mounting bolts in place. They're all there, nice and flush, ready to go. This is actually the back. So I don't know why I get it wrong, but that is the actual back. This is the front, and you know this is the front because those two there, that's the mount for the camera holds. And the front should go lower. So that's how it will go. It goes lower like that. So let's look at the arms. We're going to attach the arms to that bit there. Make sure you get your arms the correct way. There's a hole in the middle, and that's where your motor sits. So they are that way. And you also need these little grippers. There's these little silver grippers, and they go into the ends, just like that. And then what you need 4 of these little bolts like so, and you need these. they go in there like that. And you do these one at a time, but you're looking at the middle parts. And then you're screwing it down. If I can get the right tool, here we are. And screw them down, so that one's attached. Only do it loosely for now, and you can get them into position. That one's in. Last one. So I've just tightened up all those arms. They're all in place and we're looking pretty good. So that is the front. You know that's the front because that's the actual camera mounts there. That's the back part that we did previously. Let's get it the right way. And that sits like so. And what we need now, we need these funny little bolts. We need those plastic things again. And we need some more of the grippers. Bolts through there. Now these go through the bottom holes in here. Easier said than done. Make sure everything's lined up. Yeah, if you've got it lined up, it should go through easier. There we go. So get all of those in place right now. So they're all in place there. Now this sits on like so. But what we need to do is we need to get the grippers into here. And that's these silver parts again. So you need to get these grippers into the holes here. And there is a smaller bolt provided that will do this for us. So that will fit into there fine. You can line these up. You can line this up and get them in place, and it grips into the carbon. And then you can remove it. Keep on going. So that's one in place. And then repeat for the others. So there we go, all four of those are in place. So we can now stick that on a lot easier. And just start screwing it all up. There we go, everything tightened up, nicely in place, and that is the hardest part of the build probably done. I love this frame, but I hate putting it together if I'm honest with you. But there, let's crack on. Right, so it's just some standoffs and stuff like that now. We're only going to put these loosely in because we are actually going to build the whole thing. So you can see there's a whole selection. There's some shorter standoffs, some bigger standoffs. Shorter at the front. Oh, I've done that wrong even. Shorter at the back. God, I'm in the middle. Shorter at the back. Longer at the front. Ooh. Do you want to put the nose plastic on? I do like the nose plastic. There, looking good. These last little ones should go in the back like so. I'm going to leave them out for the moment because we are, or I am, I'm sticking the vista in there. And obviously we're going to put our flight stack in the middle, so we need a bit of room. I'm probably going to end up taking these two off again. But that is pretty much the build there. There's lots of spare parts, always comes with spare parts. A lot of these are actually for your motors and stuff like that, but you get bolts with your motors as well anyway, so a lot is just spare, so don't overly worry about it. But that is pretty much the build there. You've got some, well, it's not the build, it's the frame build. You've got your camera mounts, they go there, and they go there. And your top obviously fits onto there. So your Apex is pretty much done, but we're going to do the complete build, and we're going to crack right on now. And we're going to crack open and see if we can get this flight stack in and see where everything's going to go. Stay there, guys. So let's start looking at the actual build. Let's crack open this flight stack. I did an unboxing of this previously. I'll probably link some bits up if you want to know more. But we're just going to tip everything out and just do the build. Apart from I will just stop and pause because it gets me every time. It is such a beautiful stack. It's a shame that ESC gets covered up. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I'll stop there. Let's just crack on. Doesn't it though? Really nice. You get everything in these, everything you'd ever need. You get your battery cables. You can use that as a little standoff if you want. There's your dubras. Search for thing. There's your bloody mounts or your connections. There's your battery cable. There's your gummers and stuff like that. Loads of bolts. There's a capacitor in there as well. Ugh. Standoffs if you want to use their own standoffs as well. We've already done it though. A capacitor. So let's make sure everything fits. Absolutely perfect. That will have some gummers on it or something like that. Make sure you get this the right way. It's that way. It's marked with an arrow. If I mentioned it before, there's the little pads here because I'm going to wire it. I'm going to wire the Vista to these ones here. There's a bridge thing here, 5 volts over here, battery power over here, and the Vista can run off battery power. And rather than messing around connecting it to this constantly, I'm just going to connect it to these two nice and easy, or plus and minus here actually, and run it on battery power. So that fits absolutely wonderfully. That's no problem at all there. This will run under. That'll sit there. That'll sit there. I may put these standoffs on, I may leave them off, to be honest with you. Nice and big cable. You can stick it out the back if you want. I mean, that's huge, isn't it? So I'm going to stick it out the side. I'm going to leave it how it is and stick it out the side. So that's where mine's going to go. And we'll probably do that bit right now. Let's do that. I'll get all my soldering gear out and we'll crack on soldering this up and getting this build done. So I've got my soldering gear all ready. This is a bit of blue tack underneath. I'm going to put the capacitor, I'm going to stick a capacitor on this build. It's going to go right there. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to tin these pads up with the capacitor in place. So it's ready for the battery connections. Nice hot iron. This is on 380. And I'm going to rest it on here. It's going to stay there, and I'm going to keep going. So that is nice and hot. You get a bit more on there. Repeat for the other side, rest it on, gets the pad nice and hot. I'm basically just going to leave it on there. So we are going to need more than that. Good blob on there. A little bit more on this side. That'll do nicely. So we go, capacitors all in place. They're tinned up. I'm going to use this the length that actually came out of the packet, and we are going to connect this side and side. And I don't want to work over myself, so I'm going to start with the negative and then we'll put the positive on. But this is going to get really hot, so you are going to need a pair of pliers if I can find mine. Put this iron up a little bit. So I'm going to hold this here and keep on heating until it all melts, until it all joins up. Got it right there. There. That will be good. There we go. That'll come around like so. It's going to be tied off with a tie anyway, so that'll be absolutely fine. And next thing, we're either going to do the vista or we're going to do the crossfire. Crossfire, actually, we're probably going to do crossfire. So here, all I'm doing is I'm actually planning out where everything's going to go. So I've got the flight stack pretty much in place, caddx vista at the back. Obviously the camera goes underneath and at the front. This is the 3D mount that I've got that goes over the struts at the back. Conveniently, it holds in place the actual antenna, which is really nice. And it's going to go up through that middle bit there. That's going to come out there. And it's a brand new crossfire. So the crossfire unit is going to be actually double-sided taped to there, like I did on my actual mini version or micro Apex version. That's going to go there. One thing to note with this stack, I am going to rotate it. I'm going to rotate it 180, and this is easily to correct in beta flight. But I find it's going to be a lot better because for some reason on this stack they have the actual connection points at opposite sides, and where the actual vista is, I'm going to be able to wire it in a lot easier if I actually rotate it. So the vista is going to be battery power at the top here. I can make these two battery power, or these ones over here. Actually, I'm going to use battery power over here, and then I've got a TX and RX pad here, and over here I've got another TX and RX pad with a couple of power. There's a ground somewhere. There we go, ground and a 5-volt there, and that's going to run my crossfire. So very easily. It's a good idea to make sure you know where everything's going to go before you sort of get yourself in a mess. And that's where that is all going to go. But I think first of all, what are we going to do? Now we're going to wire these in right now. Stay there, guys. Right, so that's the direction. If that's, I'm actually having it that way. And these are the ones I'm going to bridge. I'm going to bridge this here just to make it battery power. And what we've done there is we've just bridged battery power. Hopefully you can see that. So that's made this ground and this positive battery power. So there we go, that's the vista wired in. And we'll just give these a little twist. There we go, that's wired in there. So you've got your ground, your 5 volts, you've got RX and TX. Make sure TX goes to RX and RX goes to TX and you're good to go. Okay, we're going to jump a little bit and we're going to get these motors on. We're going to get the ESCs tinned up and we're going to look at getting the motors in place. And then once the motors are on, we've got those wired in, we're pretty much done. We've got the crossfire in place, we've got the caddx vista all wired up, and then it'll just be putting it all together. So let's go. So there's the ESC all tinned up. Now, F40 motors, I love these motors, these are great motors. F40s from T-Motor. As I said, all parts are going to be listed down below, guys. These are lovely little things. This is what I fly. These are what I recommend. They are brilliant, absolutely love them. Oh, I can't get them out of the bloody box though. There we go. So I'm going to get all of these opened and get them attached. Fuck me, come on. So there we go, I've just added all the motors in place. Now we're going to just trim these and get these actually soldered into place. So let's do that right now, guys. So all I do is roughly get where they need to be and I give it a little bit of extra room because there's no going back once it's cut. There we go, all in place. So what we're going to do is we're just going to tuck these in, get a bit of tape and stick a bit of tape around the arms just to keep these wires in place. And simple as that. And then we'll be back and we'll look at getting everything in place on top. So all I've done here is I've put the tape around the arms just to keep the wires in place. I've got the caddx vista attached, so she's just on the back there. And this is all the work we did previously. So there's the actual flight controller. And the flight controller is going to sit here. Just like so. We're going to attach the crossfire, and that is going to sit there as well, and that gives us enough room to actually add a strap on as well. Get the camera in, get this antenna attached, attach this with a cable tie, and that is it. We're pretty much done. So we're going to whip through and get these things done right now, like so. So tough, it just pushes through. There we go. Attach this antenna. I'll just take this strut off. Fine, that's nicely in place there. Antenna is attached in there, and then I feed it through here. Right, change of plan with the actual crossfire antenna. It's all just a little bit too tight at the back here, so I'm going to do what I did on my original build, and that is I actually attach it to the underneath of a front arm and actually utilise the free space at the front. There all seems to be so much space at the front still available. Crossfire receiver can go down here, antenna can come up here. Everybody seems to try to ram everything in the back for some reason, and this space here, it's just not used. I don't know why. So that's what I'm going to do. So all it does is go up there, it'll be attached in there, and that's it. Go a lot easier. Let's get the shrink wrap in place, and then we'll look at attaching everything. So there we go, I'll show you that, that's all in place. Now that's just going to sit around here somewhere. Might even just tuck it in the front by the camera. Antenna's going to be attached to an arm at the front, and that'll work perfectly. So everything is pretty much in place now. Let's get the camera attached. This camera's a little bit short, so we actually need some space, and what I do is I actually use some of these gummies. There we go, camera's in place finally. One thing we do need to do, we need to plug in the actual ESC and flight controller and the ESC. Clearly marked FC ESC. There we go, those cables can just stay there. Remember, I've rotated the actual flight controller. For some reason the cable would go, I think it's better like this, so we're going to have to rotate the actual flight controller in beta flight, but that's really simple to do. And now, crossfire can just stay there, that'll be fine when the lid's on the top. We're going to tie the antenna here. And we'll do that right now. A bit of tape and a couple of zip ties is what I use. There we go. I will add a couple of zip ties, one each direction, just to reinforce it stays on there. That'll be absolutely fine. Let me go get some zip ties actually. We'll do that and we'll actually get the battery cable into place as well. And we're pretty much there, guys. And we'll grab a battery and we'll actually see if she sparks up. Okay, that's tied in nicely. So we're pretty much there. A couple of zip ties on here. Just like so. Getting the top on. Let's get these struts back in. I might put the one on and that's it, because there's not enough room with that. This is the standard, I don't know if I actually mentioned this, it's the standard Apex frame, it's not the HD frame, it's just the standard with the vista in the back. And it does get a little bit tight now and again. So let's see if we can get these struts in place or not. Standoff struts, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to leave that one off. On my actual other build, I've left both of them off, and it's been fine. Okay, so there's the top on just loosely for now. There's the camera. Let's see if we can get that on. There we go. So that is pretty much done. I normally put some Velcro on there. I won't be putting the pads on, just a nice strip of Velcro, and that's what I use. But that is the build done, guys. I think she turned out okay, to be honest with you, or pretty much like my other one. So let's see if she actually starts up or she ignites. Just interrupting, I always forget this, guys. I always forget one thing, and that's props. How can I forget bloody propellers? These are the propellers that I actually use. These are Johnny FPV props. They're pretty cool. They're Azure props. I don't know how you pronounce that name properly, but I'm pretty sure that'll do. So these are Johnny Freestyle props, and they're type 483800303. And yeah, I use the teal and I use the green. I like a mixture. I think it looks nice. So let's just get these on and then we will be done. Nice stickers as well. So I like green at the back. So just a quick little overview. Propellers pointing down. This is props in. If props are out, then they slope outwards. It's that simple. And blue at the front. That's it. I'm not going to put the actual nuts on. I'll do that in a minute. But there she is. Superb. There you go, guys. Back to the end of the video. Ready? Sounded pretty good. So that's how the battery will go on the back. Everything's flashing. Crosswire's flashing, stack's flashing. Vista's on, green light, all good to go. So everything worked out absolutely perfectly. Great stuff. There you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm trying to get better at doing all these videos and doing these builds and stuff like that. Hopefully I will get better as time goes on, and hopefully you'll stick around, hopefully you'll smash that thumbs up, hopefully you'll smash that subscribe as well, and I may be doing some first flights with this, and we're going to do there is some beta flight configurations that need to be done, so I may look at actually doing that video as well, because we do need to rotate the stack, make sure the motors are spinning the correct way, and we need to set up how the actual thing flies. But for this one I will just be copying the settings pretty much over from my existing quad onto this one, and that'll be about it. Obviously rotating the stack, and good to go. That's it guys, thanks a lot for watching, see you on the next one.